Well, folks, today there are 3 new important updates about the C8 Corvette you're not going to want to miss. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Brink of Speed. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 important updates for the C8. And I want to go ahead and get started with that. And the first subject that we're going to talk about is build dates and actual C8s arriving at dealerships. So, I found out a little bit of news today. I actually made a call to the GM concierge and asked quite a few questions. And what I found out was interesting. So everything I had been told about when to expect a C8 to be delivered to a dealership after we knew what the build date was right around 3 to 4 weeks. And it could be shorter than that. It could be 2 weeks because of quality control. Now, I don't know if you guys know much about the quality control process, but for the first run of C8s, GM has let us know that they will go through a process called quality control. So basically, the first few hundred C8s or maybe the first few thousand C8s, I don't know what it is, are going to have to sit in a quality control section at the plant, and they will apparently be looked at very closely to make certain that they are okay to drive. There's nothing major wrong with them, because obviously this is the first time that they've ever built the production car. So that made sense to me. It made sense to maybe hold them in there for 2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks at the most. So basically, the people that have build dates in February should have had their cars by beginning of March to end of March. However, this is not the case. According to the concierge that I talked to today, he said it will be anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks. My thinking on this is that GM is under-promising and hopefully going to over-deliver. I asked him specifically why it was going to take so long, because what I had heard was 2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks at the most. He said this is what GM has told us to tell everyone for now, because this is their estimation. Which, by the way, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you've heard anything about this and if you agree that this is also an under-promise, over-deliver situation. But that's my opinion. I think that's what's going on. However, I'm expecting it to be at least 8 weeks, maybe 6 weeks at the least, but right around 6 to 8 weeks, even if they're under-promising. That would put people in the early February stage of build date, right around April. And if it's 8 to 12 weeks, it could be May. So for those of you who don't have a February build date and it's going to be March, then you're looking at the furthest time out of getting your C8 being June. Am I disappointed with this? Of course. But you know what? It is what it is. I've accepted it. There's a lot worse things in life right now that have happened and are going to happen to people that is, again, much worse than having a long time that we're waiting for a car. And especially because this is not just any car. This is something that most people can't enjoy or afford. So that's the first part of the whole build date update. Now, the second thing is I asked him if there was any possibility that people that are just now getting their orders accepted from GM for a build date, if they could possibly have a February build date still. Because I had been told before that that was impossible, that those orders were accepted in October, November, and February was filled up. Well, his answer to that was, yes, there is still a possibility, but it's probably not super likely to happen. So I just wanted to give everybody an update on that. There is still a possibility that even if your order is just now accepted, it could still have a February build date, but most likely it's going to be a March build date. Now, the other thing I wanted to go over was the TPW. Everybody keeps talking about TPW. I'm not sure if everybody knows what this means, so I'm just going to go ahead and let you know. That stands for Targeted Production Week. And so that's basically the same thing as a build date. So if someone says, I have a build date of February 3rd, for example, then that means they have a TPW for the first week of February, a targeted production week. Okay, so again, leave me a comment below letting me know what you know about all of this production status with the C8. Now, let's move on to the second bit of news here with the C8 Corvette, and that is breaking in your new C8. So breaking in your new C8 is definitely going to take a lot of patience and self-control. This break-in period will be the first of its kind though. Always before, it was up to you, the driver, to limit power and torque to the engine and drivetrain components, but not anymore. GM has limited the amount of torque by 25 to 30% in first and second gear with their new technology until you reach 500 miles. Now, this was talked about by Taz Juchter in the Jay Leno's Garage episode that we all saw about a month and a half ago. I want to kind of explain exactly what this is and why they're doing it. Apparently, this is necessary because of all the new drivetrain components. This car has more traction and more aggressive gearing. So with those two things in mind, they really want to limit the amount of torque going into that gearing component and all of the drivetrain components to make certain that nothing is messed up, at least in the first 500 miles. But Taz also mentioned that it would be even more advantageous to keep your mind set on driving it gently for another 500 miles for a total of 1,000-mile break-in. Now, this is something that I'm definitely going to do. Break-in periods are definitely nothing new in my world. I know when I had my 2005 Yamaha R6, they recommended a 1,200 to 1,500 mile break-in period. Now, they recommended it for a number of reasons on this particular motorcycle, but mainly because of its high compression and high RPM. That bike redlined around 18,500 RPM, and so they really needed everything to be seated and well oiled and all the gearing to be broken in over the span of 1,200 to 1,500 miles. And then on top of that, when I got the new engine in my C7, that also needed a 500 mile break-in, and so I did that, and it was not a problem. So being patient is definitely worth it, and it will pay off in the end. Now, unlike the C7, where they wanted you to do a 500 mile service, this is no longer necessary on the C8. According to some things that I've read, the new C8 will not need any service until 7,500 miles. This will be a service for engine oil and filter change with a dual clutch transmission canister fluid filter change and a DCT fluid top off. Now, in my opinion, this should have been the way that the C7 was built. It had enough technology in it to run 5 to 7,500 miles without any kind of oil change. I don't understand why they wanted something done at 500 miles, but that's the way it was, so that's fine. I'm very happy, though, that the C8 is not going to need anything done to it until 7,500 miles. So, once you get to 500 miles, you technically could start getting on it and having fun. But again, I'm waiting for 1,000 miles to do that, and then after that, I'll have 6,500 miles to drive it before I ever have to take it to Chevy. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, leave me a comment below about everything we just discussed there and let me know what your thoughts are on that. Now, lastly, I'm going to give you my order update. So my TPW has been determined. I now have a build date for March 2nd. I can't tell you how excited I am about this, to learn of this actually just today. I'm super stoked. Am I a little disappointed that I don't have a build date in February? I would be lying if I didn't say yes. But again, there are more important things in life than to worry about my C8 Corvette build date. I am going to eventually get the car, and once I do, again, you guys are going to love the content that I bring to you. In the meantime, though, what does this mean for my channel and Blue Fury? Well, as far as the channel goes, you know I'm going to always continue to put out great content about the C8, the latest news, latest whatever I find out about the C8. Also, I'll continue to do videos about Blue Fury, and I'm still going to continue to upgrade and update Blue Fury. There's people out there that are still sending me things for her to add to her. So I have that stuff coming. I actually have a video coming very soon of some things that I'm getting done to Blue Fury that you're going to absolutely love. And so I'll continue to make that content for you guys. And while I'm talking about content, go ahead and leave me a comment below and let me know what type of Blue Fury content you would like to see. And I'll do my best to go ahead and make videos about that exact type of content. So ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it. I hope you enjoyed these 3 updates of the C8 Corvette. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. And also, again, leave me comments below letting me know what you thought about each of the different updates and what type of content you'd like me to do with Blue Fury. And if you have not joined this wonderful Brink of Speed community, again, I'm getting a C8 Corvette sometime in the spring, hopefully. Make sure and smash that red subscribe and bell notification so that you're notified when that new content comes out. But with all that being said, I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you out on the road.